Afternoon, guys. Joe here. I've just been watching one of Logan's decode videos, and I wanted to come on and just blow your mind. Like my mind's just been blown. I've never been into astrology because I've always associated astrology with Russell Grant, and your daily horoscopes and etc. So I've never really been into it. But these last couple of years, I've really began understanding the value of astrology, and even more so since I had my decode done by Logan. But this video that he's doing now, and I'm going to put the link in the bottom, and I'm going to timestamp it, and I'm going to add a couple of screenshots, if indeed I can, with the editor that I've downloaded that I'm so inexperienced at using. And can you even believe that I went to uni and I did a journalism course, and the second year of my course I actually did video editing, so I used all the equipment, but of course that was years ago. But anyway, so this is just along the lines of history repeating itself, and something else that solidifies the fact that we are actually in a matrix or a simulation. The last video that I did, which was isometric ripples, I think I titled it, and I briefly explained my understanding from Jason what isometric predictions were. And I'll just recap on that. So isometric predictions are you drop a pebble in water and you get the ripples, and how Jason predicts. He looks at the past and he predicts what's coming in the future, and Nostradamus used the same formula. And I think Nostradamus was actually the one who created the isometric predictions, but of course he didn't call it that at the time, I don't think, from my understanding of what I've learned from Jason. But anyway, you drop a pebble in the water and the ripples go outwards. So, for example, the key year that seems to be being spoken about a lot at the moment with Jason's work is 1902, and I think that's because it was the last great reset, or at least the reset happened, the cataclysm with the Phoenix happened prior to 1902, a couple of years prior, and then 1902, the gods come up from underground, which were the Anunnakis or the Anunas, and again, I'd have to watch more of Jason's video. The problem with Jason is he keeps bringing out videos, so each time I go back to look at his older videos, he brings out a new one. I'm like, what is he going to say that's new now? So I'm having difficulty catching up, and also I don't just want to stick with Jason because there are other valuable content creators out there like Logan from Decode Your Reality, and like Crypto Above Waters is another guy I'm getting into, and again they're all on the script of This Life is Scripted, so do go and check out my previous video on the isometric predictions, because I do explain a little bit about what that is. But I just want to, and again, you can go and watch Logan's video because he'll explain it much better than I can. But I've just written something here. So it's about history repeating itself. So, and this is something that Logan picked up by a podcast that Jason and Jordan did. Jordan is with Crypto Above Waters, and again, he's a decoder. So back in 1945, the Empire State Building was hit by a plane, a B-52. Now, at the time, the Empire State Building was the tallest building in the world. Fast forward to 2001, on September 11, planes, or whatever you believe, hit 9/11. The Twin Towers. And Logan's actually done an astrological chart on this, and they mirror one another. The events from 1945 has Saturn, so it's in Gemini, has Saturn, Rahu in the charts, and equally, fast forward to 2001, September 11, also in Gemini, and it has Rahu and Saturn and a couple of other planets like the moon and again, I've literally just jumped on just to entice you to go, and even if you just watch the bit that I've time-stamped, because those of us who are on the awakening and we know things aren't right, we are here to raise our consciousness, and having an understanding of everything that makes up this matrix and this scripted life is really important, and also recognizing that history does indeed repeat itself. Now, I know that there are people on my news feed on my Facebook that will be interested in this, but they don't quite know where to start. And again, as I keep iterating, bite-sized gnosis is to give you little bits of snippets for you then to go off and watch the real knowledge from the people who I'm learning from. So like I say, I'm going to timestamp Logan's video just to highlight. And again, this is mind-blowing to me as well, because I've never really had an interest or a belief, shall we say, in astrology. But I'm really starting to understand the complexity of this matrix that we live in, and everything's connected, and astrology plays a huge part. Now, a friend of mine asked me, well, if this is a matrix and a simulation, how can the astrology play a part, because it's just a simulation? And my answer to that was, if we go off Jason's work, so you have the simulation, and AIX was introduced, which is the demiurge, which is something that the Gnostics talk about, which is, you could call the demon, the devil, however you want to phrase it. AIX was introduced, and that is what controls the negative aspect of this reality. So your news outlets, anything that keeps you in a low vibration, that is AIX. So my understanding the theory, the conclusion that I came to as how astrology plays a part is, if this is indeed a simulation, and it works on a code, so everything's coded, everything within the simulation has to be coded, and that includes us. So if the planets are coded, that has to affect certain events in the world, in the universe. For example, as been stated here, you got the 1945 Empire State Building coming down, and then fast forward to 2001, you got September 9/11 with the Twin Towers, and again, they were the tallest buildings at the time. And that was affected by the energy of the planets. It's just coding. And if we think about our own personal coding, now my particular coding is, I've got a strong interest in the occult and mystics and healing, which I do, but I've just never really given it my all. And of course, with the occults, you've got the strong numbers like 666. Well, I've got 666 in my phone number, and I lived for 10 years off the 866 in Bolton. So if you believe that there are no coincidences, then you can start to look at certain elements of your life and see how they play into your code, and how nothing is a coincidence and everything's scripted, and the path that you're playing, that the role that you're playing, is indeed already mapped out for you, and there are clues to your coding. For example, before I moved to Cumbria, I was seeing 444 a lot, and randomly I saw 444 on two separate cars on their on registration plates in the same day. I mean, what are the odds of that? And my life path number is 4, and my name in Gematria comes up as 44. Now, more recently, I'm seeing 33. Again, 33 is a very strong number in the world of the occult, as is 666. And given that my astrological chart and every other chart, because I've got Rahu, which is a black sun planet, so it's quite a dark planet. I've got Rahu in my chart, and I have a strong interest in the occult. And occult just means hidden knowledge. People feel that the occult is darkness. It isn't all dark, because Freemasonry in and of itself isn't dark. It's just another philosophy, and it's just been inverted by, we could call it AIX, but for simplicity I'm going to call it the Freemasons, because that's what a lot of us have been learning about over the last couple of years. So anyway, I'm going to link Logan's video. It is a 5-hour video. Just at this point now, which is I'm sharing this information, I'm going to timestamp it so you can go off and just watch this 3-minute slot, just so you can start to understand the importance of astrology and numerology and the part that it plays in this script that we are living in, this movie. I'll speak to you all soon. Thank you. Bye. Switch it off. My mouse isn't working. There we are.